You know, we've always heard that the black man leaves the black family, abandons his woman and children, won't take care of the children, won't work, stays out all night, turns into a drunk, takes drugs. You know, we've heard a lot of negative things.
Black women in America, you need to know that the chances are you'll most likely run into sisters who come from this background and have the qualities, personalities, and characteristics we're going to discuss in this video. So let's start with where she came from and her upbringing as a child. She was born in a household which has a financial structure.
Law of ugliness. There are a lot of attractive, ugly people. On the outside, they look good. They fit the current stereotype of what's considered to be attractive. You can look at them, they can reel you in with their looks. But on the inside, they got nothing going on. Therefore, they're not actually beautiful. People always say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But I would say it's in the values of the beholder. It is about who you really are. What is your spirit? What is your soul? What are the things that make you a true human being on this planet Earth that gives you value outside of your look?
Thank you. I'm back. This is Brian HRap B. Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. This is a program called A Few Minutes with HRap. Before I start, as I do every day, I thank my parents, Dolores and John. Without Dolores and John, there will be me. There will be no me. Without me, you'd be doing something else with your valuable time. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you are watching this live, thank you. If you're watching this later, hit that like, hit that share. If you're watching it live, why hit that like and hit that share. Share and let someone else get this blessing that I'm attempting to bestow upon you. If not, go to www.theendofthebench.com. Watch it there. You will also watch Country Boys One Mic History episode. It's right next to this one. The reason I want you to do that, he has a program that is culturally enriching, and this is hopefully is culturally enriching. You know my mantra. I want to make life for my great-grandchildren's better. I want that life to be better. I want to be better than we can ever dream of. My great-grandchildren, I want their great-grandchildren to live a greater life than I ever imagined. And that's why I do this on a regular basis. Now, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is important that you do so. Check those things out. And you'll be able to watch that video in its entirety. You'll be able to check out everything that I have to offer. I want to say hello and welcome and thank you for the support. Now, this episode is called We Are Black Culture. See, we are suffering from the erosion of some principles in our community, and one of the greatest detriments to the erosion of our culture is capitalism. You have been trained to believe capitalism is the way, because see, you got to get that money, and then you get the money, and then you get the things you want, and you get the things you want, and you'll be enriched, and you'll be happy, and then it sounds good. But capitalism is the number one enemy of the black community, even greater than white nationalism, greater than discrimination, racism, and things of that nature, because capitalism forces you to not think and disregard the people who are thinking. If you are not thinking, capitalism makes you believe that you're thinking. You think rugged individualism. See, I got to do for me, do for self. No, you don't do for self. We are collective. I'm going to reference Christianity, I'm going to reference Islam, I may reference Buddhism, Judaism, and a few other cultures as I show you the steps to us being happier. Now, the reason I'm going to show you those things because monotheology is the key. The study of one creator. There's one creator. You can call him Jehovah Jireh. You can call him Allah. You can call him God. You can say he's Lord, your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Whichever mantra you go through, what you ultimately get to is the top of the food chain. It is the creator of the universe. There is a higher being. And I don't want you to get into a situation to where as it's a debate, because what I want you to understand is this. We can take a million different paths to one creator, and you study yourself to show yourself worthy. And there's a million other different mantras that you can use to show yourself that you are connected to the creator. Whichever path you take, that's your path. That's why there's a personal relationship. No one is wrong when they're trying to be a better human being, because the creator in all walks of life and all forms of monotheology tells you to love yourself. You love and respect the creator, love yourself, and love the people and everything around you. So, but the point I'm trying to make is capitalism is our number one enemy. And the reason I say capitalism is a number one enemy because it takes you away from the creator. It makes you focus on yourself. It makes you boastful, brazen, brolic, not humble, endearing, loving, and caring, and welcoming. See, capitalism makes you believe you're thinking. And you're not really thinking when you're participating in capitalism. Whether you want to believe it or not, capitalism makes you believe you picked the president. They picked the president. No, that's the equivalent of me telling you, hey, you can have whatever you want for dinner, Burger King or McDonald's. And then you think, okay, let me get a Big Mac. You didn't think of the Big Mac. I gave you two menus. I said you can have whatever you want. Biden, Trump, Harris, Trump, Obama, whoever. You were told those things. And you thought you made a decision, but you really didn't. You thought, hey, I got to get a Benz because that's what'll make me successful. And then you go get the very best Benz because you can afford it. And you say, I picked that. I picked that. But you really didn't, because somebody told you this will make you a better human being. So you went and got it. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get you to avoid doing. What we do a lot now is participate in social media. And when you participate in social media, you're being brainwashed and duped into a myriad of things, and you are stopped thinking, and you have been shown things. And when you're shown things, you go, that could be it. But your spirit, the thing that guides you, the thing that uplifts you, the thing that draws you towards the creator, what that does is tell you, wait a second. See, God gave you something called discernment. A lot of us don't use it. A lot of us just go with the flow. See, this is what you're supposed to do. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. Guess what? Praying is when you talk to God. Meditation, slowing down. Everything in nature moves at its pace. When you see lions, tigers, bears, cheetahs, rhinoceros, or whatever animal you watch, they move extremely slow. They move at their pace. They don't move at the pace of the world. And if you slow down and you pray, talk to the creator, and then once you pray, you stop and listen, guess what? You'll get an answer. That will be discernment. I practice these things on a regular basis. I almost gave up this brand of podcasting, community empowerment, empowering my people, uplifting my people, adding spiritual worth to my people, because I allowed one person to jade me. And that's why I'm doing this today. Because the new thing is there's no such thing as Black culture. See, because we don't participate in the rituals of the continent, which are our continent of origin. We don't participate. We don't have our own language, and we don't do this and we don't do that. I'm here today. I'm going to destroy that theory. And again, if you're not watching this live, right there, www.theendofthebench.com, watch this, and then the Black History video that I'll show midway through the program, you'll be able to watch in its entirety. Country Boy will get credit. I'll get credit because you all visit my website. One hand watch the other, both hand watch the face. I can continue and be empowered. Shout out to the 478,000 people that tapped in last month. Man, peace, love, and respect to you. But allow me to get back to what I was talking about. Now, we have been told we don't have culture. But what you don't understand is we are the most unique group of people on earth that have ever been on earth and ever will be on earth. The Black woman and man in these United States of America. You notice I said woman first, the Black woman and the Black man. See, we've been told the Black woman is no good, the Black man is no good. We continue to separate, they continue to divide us, and they conquer us on a regular basis. But the Black people in the Western Hemisphere of this world are the most unique and most powerful and most anointed people in the history of the world. I got a mantra that I'm going to say at the end of the program. Please state it. And even if you don't, watch to the end, get to the mantra, and then I guarantee the mantra will work for you. But what I want you to understand is this. Our culture permeates through the entire world. You can have something that comes from the great continent. You can have something that comes from Europe. You can have something that comes from Asia. You can have something come from the Eastern Hemisphere. But the things that come from the Western Hemisphere in these United States of America is the most unique thing in the history of the world. No other people were stripped from their God, stripped from their diet, stripped from their relatives, stripped from the power that we get from the land, taking our language. Nobody's ever been through that. Nobody has ever done anything that we've done. Remember, I told you in 1865, 4% of us could read the English language. See, when you say illiterate, you think, oh, he can't read. No, we couldn't read the English language. We created reading on the great continent, but reading and writing on the great continent. But what I want you to do is say, hey, 4% of us, 12 years later, Reconstruction is what it's called. That period of time is called Reconstruction. 84% of us were reading. Nothing. Do you understand the anointed power that it takes for something like that to happen? That's point one. Our culture permeates throughout the world. People in the Western Hemisphere, we got people like Bob Marley. We got people like Aretha Franklin. We got people like Duke Ellington. We got people like Count Basie. We got people from our culture, from top to bottom, left, right, up, down, and diagonal, from every direction, making life better for other people. So how is it that the people in the Western Hemisphere who identify as African American, they identify as Black people, how is it that we don't have any culture? Because we don't participate in your rituals. So for the people who say you don't participate in our rituals, therefore you don't have any culture, you don't have any taboos, what we're going to do today, what I'm going to do today is debunk that. You're not going to disrespect my people. Even if you're one of my people, even if you're one of my people in these United States of America, even if you're one of my people in the neighborhood I live in, you are not going to disrespect my culture. Let's talk about culture, tradition, and ritual. A lot of people say, you don't have any culture, you don't have any traditions, you don't have any rituals. Wrong. Let me say it one more time. Wrong. We do. We are the architects. First of all, you know what the most powerful ritual we have and cultural tradition we have? Resilience. We were taken away from people, but we still draw each other. That's resilient. We were stripped of our language, and we took your language and can speak your language in front of you, talking to our brothers and sisters that we don't even know, that we don't have a kinship to. And guess what? We taking your language, be able to speak your language with your words, your acronyms, your verbs, your pronouns, your nouns, and you don't even understand what we're talking about. That's a cultural tradition. That's called resilience. Because no matter how much you try to beat us down to the ground, we will return. I'll give you a perfect example. Most of us have not been to Costa Rica. I may be pronouncing this word wrong. Please forgive me for my Costa Rican brothers and sisters. It's this thing called meta and meadow. Is male or is man. It translates to my little friend, right? Now, it's traditionally used in Costa Rica like this. Your father has a girlfriend who comes by the house. He hasn't identified her to the family, but she comes around and helps him around the house. And in Costa Rica, when they see that, that's his meta, woman, little friend. Meta is the man, same thing. Now, when you see your mother or father's new friend come around, what do you say? You ain't never been to Costa Rica, but you say, oh, that's my mama or daddy, little friend. You see how no matter how separated we are, we continue to come back together. That's step one. That's resilience. You don't even know the things that you've invented that are part of American lexicon on a regular basis. Today is Labor Day. Labor Day is because they wouldn't allow us in unions and blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't want to get into it because it's not my holiday. I'm just glad I got paid double time. But that's all I'm saying. But we're going to go back to Memorial Day. This is the end of the summer. Memorial Day is traditionally, unofficially, the beginning of the summer. Do you know May 1st, actually, it's the beginning of the very first Memorial Day created by our ancestors because we were put in mass graves after the Civil War. And we said, no, you're not going to do our people like that. We dug our people up and buried them properly. Memorial Day. And the United States of America took that and never told you that that's what it was. And guess what? So guess what that means? We have a sense of union. Guess what else we invented? The term family reunion. That's another cultural marker. Because we were separated, we were destroyed, and then we put together, and then they separated us again, they put together, and they separated us again. And guess what we did? We said, okay, we started putting ads in paper. This is about, hey, I use Ancestry.com. Shout out to my cousin Bianchi. Marie, my cousin Carla, and other people that I communicate with on a regular basis. But it don't take us a lot. We will come back together. We will reunite as a family because we were separated. We created that. That is culture. You don't want to acknowledge it because you've never been told. And a lot of us walk around not even understanding or knowing, and we suffer from the ignorance that is being a participant in capitalism. So that is culture, that is a tradition, and that is a ritual. Guess what? Dinners. We'll take your Thanksgiving, we'll take your 4th of July, we'll take your whatever, and we will say, hey, how many of you guys going to your grandparents' house? And it's always that one to three, maybe even 5 relatives that most people at the function don't like. But I bet you won't ask that person to leave because you don't want to deal with your grandmother because he is family. Family. The fact that it is a tradition. Now watch this. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, even though you don't celebrate the holidays, but guess what? There's a ritual to put a big bowl of fruit between Thanksgiving and Christmas in the centerpiece on your table. You come in the house and get that fruit and you eat it. That's a ritual. I got friends in here. I got supporters in here. People from the Carolinas. I got people from California. I got people from the southern part of the country. And I know you all have recognized that. That's another ritual that we participate in that is exclusively belonging to us. We created it, we participated, and we lived through it. And I need you to understand that's what we're doing. But that is culture. And we create these things. And then they continue, they filter out, and then we lose identity because we lose the ability to go to these functions. We no longer have conversations. We have more technology than we've ever had. We have the ability to have FaceTime. We have the ability to have Zoom meetings. We have the ability. Hey, if you don't want to pay for FaceTime and Apple, and you don't want to pay for a Zoom meeting, you can go to Facebook, which is free. Use your use your phone call procedure for the instant messenger, and you can have a Zoom call with at least 20 people. Me and my partners used to do it during COVID. It's free. You can stay on there as long as you want, but you're not using those things. Another ritual that you think is, it don't make anything, but you know what? Playing music as you clean up. It takes us back to the plantation. As we worked, we sang. It drew us together. Everybody singing the same song. Guess what that is? That's a choir. What is a choir? Saying a joyful noise to pay homage to the Creator. See, you paying homage to God. You don't even know it. But see, that's our culture. That is tradition. That is culture. That is a ritual. And you're not even paying attention. You just think it's something. And there's nobody that's going to listen to this. That's part of our community that's not familiar with anything I just said. So we don't have any culture. We don't have any tradition. We don't have any rituals. Yes, we do. Now, the next thing that's part of culture is art. Art and music. When you think of Black music, you think funk, jazz, big band, and rock and roll, and everything. Every form of music that is celebrated in these United States, it comes from us. And that music is the #1 export of the United States, and it always has been, and it always will be. Watch this. The banjo is us. That means the guitar is us. That means we already know the drum is us. But you don't understand these things. Meta-nature, you call it hieroglyphics. You were taught that it was called hieroglyphics. It's called meta-nature. Meta-nature is art. Art that is speaking to you. Art that will be able to travel. Art that will be able to deliver messages. That's what art is for. Art and music do the same things. But we have allowed people to make fun of it and diminish it. Well, that's graffiti. No, that's a person who's, I told you, I've said this. If I said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. You are sum total with everyone in your lineage. If Pablo Picasso's in your blood, you got that in your blood. It's up to you to trigger. So the people who you identify as graffiti writers and they're destroyed, no, they are doing exactly what their ancestors, what their DNA tells them to do. And if you remove the art program, we'll write it on the wall. If you remove our canvas, the world is our canvas. We have these pyramids. That's going to be my canvas. Hey, a lot of us have body art. That's myself. I'm my canvas now. But see, you've allowed people to reduce it to graffiti, trash. But that's your culture. When you watch television shows like Good Times, when you watch the Cosby Show, you see all that art on the Huxtables family. You see all that art that James Evans Jr. was creating, that was already created, that was presented to you. Those are Black men and women presenting their feelings to you. They're expressing it to you. But what you have done is violated that family reunion ritual and not talk to your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, and the elders of your family and your neighborhood, and you've missed out on it. Every time every time an elder transitions to the ancestral realm, you know what you do? It's like having a first edition, only copy book that burns to the ground and you never get a copy of it. And you never get a copy of it. But we're so busy trying to be capitalists that we are missing out on the beauty of our culture. African proverb, the eye see everything but the eyes. You're watching the world and you're not even watching yourself. But you allow people to tell you that this is what you're supposed to do, and it's ruining you. It is ruining you because there is no culture. Then hip hop, oh man, that's just a bunch of gibberish, and they don't make it like they used to. We immediately attack the negative in hip hop. But hip hop is just like everything else in the world. If you only find the shoot 'em up, the gang banging, the drugs dealing, you are missing the beauty in hip hop. Just like if you only in this 1975, you only listen to Millie Jackson, you didn't listen to Millie Rep. You would have missed out on Minnie Riperton. You'd have missed out on Natalie Cole. You'd have missed out on Aretha Franklin. You'd have missed out on Gladys Knight. You'd have missed out on Patti LaBelle. You'd have missed out on the beauty of Black music. But you were told that's not the way to go. You'd have missed out on funk. See, you would have missed out on disco. You'd have missed out on art. But you're not paying attention because you've been inundated by the illusion of inclusion. I am going to be a part of America no matter what they say. But if you start watching Uptown Saturday Night, Let's Do It Again, A Piece of the Action, Buck and the Preacher, if you notice those movies made by us, created by us, developed by us, Photoshop, filmed by us, it always showed us. And other people were on the outside. And people tried to come into it. You look at Walter Mosley's, one of the greatest books ever written, and in my opinion, it is my favorite book, Devil in the Blue Dress. It was made into a movie, acted by Denzel Washington, co-star by my man Don Cheadle. If you watch that movie, there was a whole Black culture inside of the world. We had a culture inside the culture, and they had people coming into our culture. And if you stop, you realize you're not chasing the other cultures around the track. They're behind you, not because they've lapped you. You've lapped them, and they're trying to catch up and pick up the crumbs off your table while you're trying to pick up the crumbs off their table. You doubt it? What's soul food? They're scraps that we turn to delicacy, and now they call it a delicacy. Because you haven't taken the time to learn who you are. Now it's time to learn who you are. Phase 2. I'm going to show you a video. I'm going to show you this video. And when I show you this video, it's going to show you who we are and what we're made of and what we come from and the things that we deal with. Because you have been told that we need other people to be who we are, which is a lie. This is a lie, ladies and gentlemen, haters and bitter friends. This is a lie. We don't need other people to be as great as we need to be. We need to realize how we set the pace. And when you realize how you set the pace, you realize you must be anointed. And when you realize you're anointed, you realize you're right next to God. You're right next to God, you talk, and then you create a relationship. But what I want you to do is watch this. Hopefully this will be a little enlightening. If it's not, then, hey man, go to my website. You'll see other enlightening things. But I want you to watch this video. And it's only going to be about 2 minutes. The entire video will be on my website, www.theenderthebench.com. I'm beginning to tell you again, you want to see the video in its entirety, you can always go. And I implore you to go here to watch the entire video because I want you to see how awesome we are. Here's the video. I'll be back shortly.
Americans. As the century progressed, the Industrial Revolution dramatically changed the accessibility and the popularity of mac and cheese in the United States. The production process in making macaroni and cheese became more affordable and more widely available, made it more popular with the lower classes. The establishment of the first cheese factories in this country amplified the production of cheddar cheese, which soon became the common ingredient in macaroni and cheese, thus making the meal even more suitable for poor communities. It was during this time we also see macaroni and cheese lose its Italian and French origins and become a more crucial part of Western cooking. For the African American community, after emancipation, the dish bore two distinct identities and varied in significance. One was a quick side dish for weekdays, and the other was a more elaborate meal celebrated for Sunday suppers. It was during this time period that macaroni and cheese evolved in the South among African American communities and became what we know as baked macaroni and cheese. This dish was also based in hard times when the Black community desired to dress up their macaroni and cheese, thus began a tradition of baking layers of macaroni and cheese. During the Great Migration, where African Americans moved from the South to northern industrial centers, this continued to spread in the popularity of macaroni and cheese, thus making it a well-known dish within the Black community across the United States. Additionally, it was Black women, first the enslaved, then later domestic workers, that were instrumental in the dish's trajectory. Their cooking skills and knowledge greatly impacted how this dish had evolved, reinforcing the role of Black women in shaping American cuisine. With macaroni and cheese becoming a common dish among Black families, it began to reflect the craft and ingenuity of these Black women.
Didn't I tell you? Remember, at the beginning of the show, I address women first. The reason I address women first is because women are the root. See, this is the beauty of being a Black woman. See, this is why you need to be talking to your grandmother, you need to be talking to your aunts, you need to be talking to your elders, ladies, gentlemen, haters, bitter friends, all men, all women. You need to be talking to your elders. The reason you talk to your elders is because you understand the Black woman is the root of the community. The root of, look at that tree, family tree. Look at it. The tree, the root is the most important part of the tree. What keeps the root alive? The root allows the tree to grow. Guess what? The woman allows the family to grow. And when that woman is allowing the family to grow, she has branches and tentacles. What do those branches and tentacles represent? They represent children, aunts, uncles, so forth and so on. They create family. Those children and nieces and nephews and cousins and grandchildren, they keep the root alive because they grow stronger and they take care of the root. So while you never take care of the Black woman, if we are raising our children and our grandchildren and our nieces, nephews, cousins, and neighbors properly, that root will always be taken care of. And guess what, brothers? You are the soil. You're the soil. You're the soil because that root is making you better. You don't realize that plants make the soil more enriched. When the plant make the soil more enriched, the soil enriches the root. The root grows stronger, creates more limbs and tentacles. And guess what? It's a cyclical thing. That's why I said women and men. The root must be taken care of. And when the root takes care of it, it grows, it becomes stronger. And then guess what? It feeds the soil. The leaves fall down, germinate in the soil becomes richer. It's an ongoing cycle. That's why I said we must take care of the women. The women are the root. They take care of us, we take care of them. Nothing ever falls off. Another cultural thing that I want to talk about. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about on this journey of culture that you said, the world said we Black people in America, African Americans don't have any culture, but we do have God and spiritual guidance. I have spoken about God and spiritual guidance several times in this show alone, but I do it all the time. I quote scripture. I put us in a better situation. But what I want you to understand, you don't have any deity. That's the white man's religion. Really? How is the white man's religion? But we learn the white man has only been documented for 5,000 years, but we have documentation talking to the creator, interacting with creator hundreds of thousands of years ago. We can look up Hotep. You can look at Isis and Cyrus and things like that. God been around alone. God was here first, and then he brought us into the party, and we praise God and so forth and so on. But we have a reverence for the creator. Agnostic people. I'm going to start at agnostic people. Hey, man, I don't believe in religion. Just the God is blah, 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 blah. The God is this and God is that. But they are saying that they don't believe in how we represent God. They acknowledge that there is a God. See, you want it to be the way you want it to be. Like they said in that television show, The Wire. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. It is not the white man's religion because he came to us and we gave it to him. For example, if you're a Christian, Jesus was on the move learning, and then he came where? To Ethiopia. Guess what? If you look at the beginning of the Bible, it's the section called Genesis. That's the very beginning. And Ethiopia just happens to be Cush. And if he was in Cush blending in and he was hiding there, and if he looked like the Cushites people, the people of dark faces, and you were here first, and we don't even need to get into all this and all that, but we're gonna keep it funky. Now, that's respect for a higher being. Now, if you don't believe that, then I would, that's the issue that you have with yourself. We also respect our ancestors, which, guess what? Jesus is an ancestor. Noah is an ancestor. The Prophet Muhammad is an ancestor. All the anointed people in the Word of God is our ancestors. Now you respect, you pay homage to them. The person they call Peter, Paul, and those people, and they call them that because I got issues with Zebekiah and all these people. Then all of a sudden the stars of the show are called David and John. Well, I'm not gonna get into it, but I want you to understand the respect that you have for your ancestors. Even as children, I'm gonna make it funny. I'm gonna take it from children. I'm take it as a child. Even as a child, nobody had to teach you to have respect for your ancestors. If you're a dude of a certain age, I'm 55. If you were born in the 70s, from 1979 on back, fights in the neighborhood that your mama, your daddy, my grandmama did. I gotta beat you up because you have reverence for your ancestors. You speak about your ancestors. Y'all heard me reference my grandfather, Richard Pollard, Sr. You heard me reference my grandfather, George Williams, Sr. You heard me reference my great-grandfather, Theodore Whitmore. Chapter, book, and verse of these men, because those men helped shape who I am. My father is an ancestor. Never met him. He was transitioned before I got here. But guess what? His friends and family members say, when I open my mouth, they can hear him. Ancestral living through me. See, these are rituals. This is God living through me. God inspired me to do these things, and I give it to you. And I literally prayed 4 days ago, God, I'm sick of this. These people don't want to know, blah, blah, blah. You need to show me. And he showed me that night. I slowed down, paid attention, looked around, and got we have to have reverence for our ancestors. That's why when you read the book of Corinthians, you hear Paul say, hey, I give you these allegories. But don't nobody really read that part. I give you these allegories. The allegory is a message with a lesson. But you didn't read that because you were waiting on, no disrespect, Pastor Dodd, my man. You waiting on Pastor Dodd to tell you that, but he tell you every week, write this down, look into it until I see you next week. But are we doing that? I send out scripture to more than 175 people every day. Are you reading the scripture before? Are you reading the scripture after? Are you reading that chapter? If you're not, then you're doing yourself a disservice, because God said, yo, B, Brian, HRap, or whatever he called me, son, child, give it to him. And then if you're not doing it, then, hey, God did his job. Are you doing yours? That's all I'm saying. But this is respect for the ancestors, because God gave those people the word. They delivered the word. Oh, man, that's the white man's word, though. How is it that you're going to take my word, rewrite it, try to make yourself the star of the show, and then give it to the world and then say it's yours? No, it's the word of God. Hey, if you don't believe me, I'm going to take you to a movie, Malcolm X. What did Brother Bang say? These is God's words. This ain't no hustle. Even if you present me the word of God in the most wicked and evil way, it will be beneficial to me because you're giving me the truth and the light. But we don't have any God. We don't have any spiritual. We don't have any guidance. If you slow down, you'll get the guidance. You walk around the spirit. Man became a living soul. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, but you don't want to believe this. You don't want to believe it. Monotheology, the study of a creator, started on the continent. Judaism, Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, all that, Islam, it started there. But you don't know that because you allowed the TV, the internet, the Google, the YouTube. You didn't read it. You didn't study it, so therefore you don't know. Again, what did I say about 15 minutes ago? Study to show yourself worthy. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tap in, to show yourself, to show me that you appreciate what I'm doing. But that's what I'm trying to get you to acknowledge, man. The moment you acknowledge that there's a higher being than you, acknowledge that you have a spirit, you will receive the guidance from the Creator. Whether it's the white man's religion, the black man's religion, the blue man's religion, the gray man's religion, God will talk to you if you allow him to. Now, a lot of us don't listen. I'm a lot of us. I don't be listening all the time. But because I want it to be the way I want it to be. But, again, you see things one way, but it's the other way. And I'm a victim of that. I want to be God. I want to, look, God, do it now. And I make plans, God laugh. Dude, I might be the biggest joke God ever created. I'm just going to keep it funky with you. He laughs at me all of the time. Then people say, well, see, if you had culture, you would have taboos, you have things that you don't do. Do anybody raise your hand now in your house? I ain't going to see you, but raise your hand if you would say, to heck with God, not the heck, the other word. Would you disrespect God? Anybody? Oh, you don't do that. How many of y'all disrespect your grandparents or your parents? You don't do that. You may have an altercation with your parents and something may come out that is deemed disrespectful, but you didn't enter that situation saying, oh, to heck with that lady or man. No, you don't. And some of us are angry with our parents and they feel our parents didn't do everything they could to be the best parents they could be. And you may be angry and you'll let your emotions overrun you, but you won't. And you may even be in the midst of a rift with your parents, but you're mad because you have such reverence for them. So that's another taboo. Another taboo. Do you protect older people, younger people? How many of us applaud child molesters? None. Nobody. None of us do that. How many of us applaud rapists? None of us. So taboo. So if you sexually assault somebody, that's a problem. If you offend, disrespect, or disregard an elder, that's another taboo. But I thought we didn't have culture. We have boundaries. We have culture. How many of us disrespect the dead? Watch this. I'm going to blow y'all mind. Do y'all understand the whole mantra of stop snitching is Black culture? But we should be telling. No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. You're going to snitch on your brother, sister, lady, gentleman, hater, or bitter friend and turn them into a culture that is attempted to diminish, disrespect, and disregard you for 400 years because they were wrong? Or do you say this? And most of us say this: God gonna catch up with you. You're gonna get yours one day. Which technically is a curse, which is in violation of God's law. But you say it. We're not gonna get into all that now. But we say the Lord don't like ugly. God don't like ugly. That's letting you know, straighten up. See, stop snitching, because we don't like the bootlickers, the coons, the Sambos. See, because y'all thought I was gonna say Uncle Tom. I bet you somebody say Uncle Tom. No, Uncle Tom is a hero in that story. Yeah, read that story and you find, but you need to be Sambo and Gumbo. They were the wicked people in that story. But because it's a cultural change, we're gonna go with it. But I want you to correct it. Stop calling people Sambos, because some people calling people Uncle Tom, because Uncle Tom is actually a compliment. It's actually a compliment. It is actually a compliment. So we don't have any taboos, we don't have any boundaries, but we will protect the weak. We will respect the elders. We will not. By and large, we don't turn our brothers and sisters into the man. Oh my God, those are taboos and boundaries. We don't disrespect our elders. We don't disrespect our past. We don't disrespect the dead. I thought y'all said we didn't have any taboos and we didn't have any boundaries. But see, when you have these things, you have culture. But you've allowed people to tell you that we don't have any culture. And this is the one that everybody gonna say, see, I don't know, HRap. You don't know, man. People ain't unified no more. But you and 478,000 people tapped in with me. Sounds like you're pretty unified. Sounds like almost a half million people said HRap is all right. Unity. Did y'all go to any cookouts today? Unity. Did you call around and say, what's up on the plate? Unity. How is it? Did you get a text from me yesterday saying the new Rakim album is out? We unified on an agreements of good music. We united. Did y'all watch Sinners? Unity, support. See, you keep allowing people to tell you what we don't have or use your small microcosm of an experience and to determine what the world is. But the world is so big. Do you understand? This is what I want you to understand. Pick up a grain of sand or a piece of salt, a grain of salt. That's where you are. And the box of salt represents the world. So your minute point of view or interest is done. It don't make waves in the world. So stop saying, see on TV, the same TV that say black people don't have unity, and y'all united and came in here and supported me today. The same the same television that say our kids are don't disruptive. These kids, something wrong with them. There's two reasons those kids are something wrong with those kids. If y'all telling me there's something wrong with the kids, there's two reasons that's happened. You didn't pour into the children like your grandparents and your parents and your uncles and your neighbors poured into you, like you didn't pour it into them. Or maybe, just maybe, 99% of the time, you listen to your oppressor, the person who attempted to destroy you, the person who attempted to denigrate you, the person who's at your throat right now. And you let them tell you who your children are. I mean, you don't know about these new kids, HRap. So you've talked to every person between the ages of 18 and age 1 in the United States of America. I think not. Therefore, guess what? Stop allowing yourself to be ruled by the other class. Another display of unity. So we don't have any unity. We have family that is not biological. What's this thing? Unc, auntie. How many of y'all got play cousins? You know, my mama's best friend's son is my cousin. My homeboy who I grew up with, like your man Tupac, saying that we cousins, knowing that we wasn't. How did that come about? Everybody that's ever gonna watch this that's part of the diaspora got a cousin that's not their biological cousin, got an aunt that's not their biological aunt. But guess what? Guess what? We don't have any unity. We don't have any. But there you go. How about this? How about this? My man, Big Illinois. Anybody know me? Know Big Illinois. My man, 100 grand. Check in the mail. But when I go to Big Illinois house, sometimes I bring BJ, my son, my only son. And I go to BJ, and me and BJ go over there, and he knows Uncle Keith. I've never told him that was his uncle, but he knows Uncle Keith. He knows Big Illinois, Uncle Ant. He knows Big Mom. And guess what? About a year and a half, 2 years ago, came over Big Illinois crib. Mark Jr. was there. Walked up to me. He didn't say, that's your Uncle B. That's all he said. But I thought we didn't have unity, but we do. My man Boyd, Big Boyd, every year, the day before Father's Day, we have a cookout. We commiserate, we drink, we smoke cigars, we talk, we yell at each other, we scream at each other. It's a wonderful time. Guess what we said this year? We should have bought our sons, because at that point, those sons becomes cousins. But y'all said we don't have unity. I yelled at a dude for 45 minutes, and I ain't know his name until the argument was over. And then he walked up and said, man, we cool, right? I said, yeah, man, that's how we get out. But we don't have unity. Don't allow other people to dictate who we are, what we're doing, because that's insane. See, don't tell me that my people don't have culture, that we don't have cultural traditions and rituals, because it's a ritual. Every time I fire up, a lot of y'all tap in. 475,000 of y'all tapped in. My man, my barber. Boop, my barber. How did he get here? My barber, right there. But hey, check that out. How did he get here? Because we have culture, we have tradition, we have rituals. And then y'all told us we don't have any art and music, but you got what you identify as graffiti. You got what you have is traditional art. We have all kinds of art and music and science permeating through. As a matter of fact, my man, P-Dub, he sent me he sent me a whole album of his last night. While I was typing up this show, I was rocking to my man Dub album. Cultural. He's so West Side. He's so West Side. But guess what? He paints a picture of the West Side. If y'all want it, anybody that know me, That's all you have to do is email me at www.endofthebench.gmail.com. I send you Dub album. I don't need you to listen to Dub album. This is dope. But see, and some of y'all gonna do it, some of y'all not. But that's what it is. That's culture, ritual, and tradition. That is art and music. And then y'all told me we ain't had no God. And I showed y'all that we got God. God is us. Watch this. Y'all told me y'all believe that we ain't got no God, we ain't got no spirituality. Watch this. Hip hop is destructive. Run DMC, the kings and queens, right? One of the pioneers of the whole hip hop movement. Only God could be a king in me, and if the God be in me, then the king I'll be. Oh, I thought that we didn't have any spiritual, and I thought hip hop was dangerous and negative. But if you listen to the music that is disseminated to you by your mortal enemy, then you will believe those things. But then, man, see, we ain't got no culture because we ain't got no rules and no boundaries. But you mess with an old lady in front of an old lady, old man, or child, or a woman in front of the average brother in this community, you gonna have a problem. You're not gonna talk about, it could be the worst person in the world, but you're not gonna speak ill of the dead, not in front of most people in this community. But we don't have taboos and boundaries, and we don't have unity because 478,000 people tapped in and said, "Yo, HRap hit like rock with me is going hard." But we don't have that, right? But y'all told me we didn't have that, but we do. So I'm sick of y'all letting, for lack of a better term, the damn man tell you who we are, what we are, and how we move, because we are. Here come the mantra, y'all. Y'all know my original mantra is I'll do this show so my great-grandchildren, our great-grandchildren's great-grandchildren will have a better life. But the new mantra is I'm blessed by the best, and I'm too anointed to be disappointed. And that's what people in the African diaspora in the Western Hemisphere are. We have been resilient. We have been creative. We have been loving. We have been caring. We have been nurturing. We have been uplifting. We have been fighters. Because we love God and we love each other. And don't let nobody tell you no different. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for tapping in. I am Brian HRap B. Williams. I'm B. I'm Stone. I'm Angry Man. I'm Silly B. I'm Crazy B. I send out corny jokes all the time. I'm all of that. But you know what I am? Most importantly, I'm a man of God that love my people. With that being said, 2 fingers, 1 word. I see y'all soon. Probably tomorrow. If I come on Sunday tomorrow, I'll be back. If not, I'll be there Wednesday. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm HRap.
I often put it this way. In order for us to be in the state that we are in today as people, we have to be out of our minds. We literally have to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be crazy. It is necessary for us to be backwards. It is necessary for us to be maladjusted. It is necessary for us to be disunited. It is necessary for us to be self-hating. It is necessary for us to be filled with an inferiority complex. In a world where the European is essentially about 10% of the world's population, if that 10% is to continue to rule over the other 90%, it must keep that 90% out of its mind. It must keep that 90% in a state of deception. It must keep